Listen to it fizz. First aid for relief from headache, Alka-Seltzer.
From acid indigestion, Alka-Seltzer.
From cold discomfort, Alka-Seltzer.
Alka-Seltzer presents the Quiz Kids and the chief quizzer himself, Joe Kelly.
Cool days, hero golden rule days, reading and writing and arithmetic, talking the truth of a hickory stick.
Hello, everyone. Well, say we're especially happy that you can be with us. We have a real treat for you this afternoon. You heard our quartet, the Men of Song, singing our theme song a moment ago, and that's very appropriate because this is to be a musical Alka-Seltzer question session. George Schick, assistant conductor of the Chicago Symphony Orchestra, is our special guest, and here's our lineup of musical quiz kids. Bunny?
I'm Bunny Duskin. I'm 13 years old, and I'm in my freshman year at Hyde Park High School.
Lonnie?
I'm Lonnie Lundy. I'm 15 years old, and I'm a sophomore at Maine Township High School in Park Ridge, Illinois.
Brenda?
I'm Brenda Liebling. I'm 6 years old. I'm in High First in Gasco, Chicago, Illinois.
Frankie?
I'm Frankie Vanderplug. I'm 6 years old, and I go to the Mount Vernon School, Chicago, Illinois.
And the brand new quiz kid, Penny.
I'm Penny Bergstrom. I'm 12 years old. I'm in grade 7A at the Roddy School.
All right, fine, kids. Now I'm going to call on our Men of Song to get our musical quiz underway. They will sing this first question from Sergeant Herbert Rudler of Kenmore, New York. Take it away, boys.
The name of this song is a clue to the question we're asking of you. Now, what author once turned out a book while he served time in just such a nook?
Oh, boy, I say, that sounds like a stumper to me. Lonnie?
Well, that's the song is the Prisoner's Song, and the
That's right.
man who wrote a book in jail would be John Bunyan, who wrote The Pilgrim's Progress.
That's a good one. Good boy, Lonnie. Fine. Now, this next question from Mrs. Emily Knox of Chicago requires perfect pitch. So let's see whether you kids are in tune. Now, who will sound a G for Mrs. Knox? Brenda? Well, now, we'll check with Howard Peterson on that. How about that, a G? Well, what do you think about that, Howard? Little sharp? Well, you got to be sharp to be quiz kids. You know, oh, dear. All right, Lonnie has his hand up. Lonnie? All right, check. Oh, that's right on the nose. Now then, how about an E? Lonnie? Wait a minute. We got to get that E higher.
Well, let's see.
All right. And C. All right, Penny? Well, you know, it's close enough, isn't it? Now then, do either three of you kids have any idea what you were participating in there? What did you sing? All right, let's have the three notes together, one right after another. All right, Lonnie.
Well, the notes were G, E, C.
All right, sing them out. Let's hear them. Oh, no, you started out wrong there. Start lower, the first one.
Oh, NBC.
Well, all right, let's have it. That's it, boy. That's it, the chimes, yeah. All right, now, we know the NBC chimes are G, E, and C. And you kids are to name a musical instrument that begins with each of those letters. Now, the first one is a hard one, G. How about G? Frankie?
Well, won't there be Glockenspiel? And, well, that's not really a G word, but it's German for the bells, and Glockenspiel starts with a G.
Yes, Glockenspiel is good, yes. And Bunny has her hand up.
Well, this may not be too close, but grand piano.
Oh, that's a dandy. That's a dandy. Now then, let's try E. How about E? The letter E. Frankie?
Well, won't that be the English horn?
Well, say, now, what do you know about that? 6 years old. It certainly would be, Frankie. I think we're going to get some more. Penny has her hand up.
Oh, this is for C.
Oh,
Cello.
for C? Well, huh?
Cello.
Cello, all right, fine. And, Lonnie?
Well, cello is, the real name of it is violoncello, so it really begin with a V, but also for C there would be cymbals.
All right, Sybil. And, Frankie?
Well, there could be clarinet.
Clarinet, that's very good. What were you going to say, Bunny?
Clarinet.
Oh, you were going to say clarinet. And Penny?
Cornet.
Cornet, fine. Well, say, those were all very, very good kids. Now then, I'm going to ask our fine quartet, the Men of Song, again, to sing this question from Mrs. Grace Boland of New York. You will hear new lyrics set to Gilbert and Sullivan tunes. Each song will contain clues that should suggest a well-known singer or composer, and you must get 2 out of 3. Listen carefully to this first one.
Oh, his folk songs all are yum, 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 yum. The north was his dwelling,
Of the south he is telling.
in ballads so fine we succumb, come. In ballads so fine we succumb.
Penny?
Well, that might be Stephen Foster.
Stephen Foster, that's right, Penny. Good girl. Now then, tell me, whose life would these clues suggest?
This artist wrote songs when 14, tra-la, much money he never was paid. Vienna is where he was seen, tra-la, Beethoven he thought simply keen, tra-la, a great reputation he made, oh, a great reputation he made. So if this man's birthday we could have foreseen, his praise would be sung by the king and the queen. Tra-la-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la-la, sung by the king and the queen.
Brenda?
Well, I'm not sure, but could that be Schubert?
Franz Schubert, that's right. And here's the last one.
From Philadelphia there came a fine contralto, heard from Maine to Palo Alto. Her name you hold very dear. You realize she won first prize at the Philharmonic, saw France and raced Teutonic, and then she sailed back home.
Penny?
Well, that would be the Negro singer Marian Anderson.
Marian Anderson is correct. Oh, that is wonderful. Now then, Mrs. Eva Perry of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, points out that David in the Bible played and sang many of the Psalms, and that a great many of them are sung today. I will quote a few words from one of these beautiful Psalms, and you children are to try to finish the quotation. Here's the one that I'm thinking of. Search me, O God. Penny?
And know my heart today. Want the rest?
That's all right. Would you like to continue?
See if there be any wicked way in me. Try me and know my heart and lead me in the way everlasting.
Oh, that's wonderful, Penny. That's fine. And you know something? It happens that those verses have been set to music, and I wonder whether you know the hymn they are in. All right, Penny.
Well, it's Cleanse Me.
Cleanse me. That's very, very good, Penny. Thank you very much. Now then, here's an old tune you folks listening in will surely remember.
The farmer in the dell, the farmer in the dell, hi-ho the merry-o. He doesn't feel so well, he doesn't feel so well, he doesn't feel so well. Well, what's the matter, Farmer Brown? Your troubles, pray us tell.
My stomach is upset. I'm miserable, you bet. I've acid indigestion. It's something that
Well, if that's what bothers you, now don't you feel so blue. Take Alka-Seltzer for relief. Now that's the thing to do.
Dissolve 2 tablets in a glass and listen to it fizz for acid indigestion.
Alka-Seltzer, it's a whiz.
Yes, that glass of sparkling Alka-Seltzer is so refreshing, brings relief so fast when you're troubled with an acid-upset stomach. Try it and find out for yourself, friends. The next time you eat too much or something that doesn't agree with you and acid indigestion results, be wise. Alkalize with Alka-Seltzer.
The farmer in the dell, he didn't feel so well, but thanks to Alka-Seltzer now the farmer's feeling swell.
All right. right, now, kids, this question from Mrs. Maureen O'Reilly of Dallas, Texas, carries us back to the old Nickelodeon days when the music you heard at the movie set the mood for the action on the silent screen. In fact, in those days, if you listened to the mood music, you could almost describe the plot without seeing the picture at all. Now, I'm going to try to play a medley of mood music. You kids are to make up a story that you think the music describes, and when I have finished playing, I'll call on you to tell us what you think might have been taking place in the movie. Now, wait a minute. Let me get the action and the camera going here. Let's see now, Frankie, do you want to start this off?
Well, Mr. Kelly, the first one sounded like it was real happy and some children could have been skating.
Well, now, that's right. Well, go ahead.
And then, a horrible monster, well, maybe a giant or a witch could come in and kidnap the children.
Oh, kidnap them, yes, sir. Well, continue now, Frankie.
Well, and then the mothers and daddies felt so sad, and that could be when the sad music came in.
Yes.
And then maybe it got kind of a little bit happier again, and maybe the tin soldiers could come and rescue the children.
Well, now, how do you like that? Isn't that a fine story? What? Bunny?
Well, the first one made me think of a very pretty young girl skating in a skating rink. And then all of a sudden she falls down in a very ungraceful position.
Oh.
But a handsome young man comes and picks her up. And, it's just love at first sight. And they go to a dance hall, and they dance, and then they fall in love.
Well, what do you know? Isn't that beautiful? Fine. Brenda?
Well, the first song was The Skater's Waltz. So,
well, of course, the titles really don't mean
well, the girl
anything.
Was skating, and someone might have took her away, like a man, and then she got back, and she started to skate, and all of a sudden, in the audience, a man stood up, and she fell in love with him, and she ran out on the stage, and she kissed him, and she ran back, and she started to skate again, and she married him at the end.
Oh, well, those were all very fine stories, and I guess we could go on and on, but we have a lot of questions. Right now, though, I want to explain about the Alka-Seltzer Awards given away every Sunday, friends. The questions used on our program are sent in by you listeners. When a question is answered correctly, the Alka-Seltzer Award is a fine Zenith transoceanic portable radio. For example, that's what Minnie Johnson of Minneapolis, Minnesota receives for this question, if it's answered correctly. Now, here's her question. The music of what famous opera includes a part of the Star-Spangled Banner? Bunny?
Well, that would be Madame Butterfly, because I think that in the last act, before she's going to kill herself, she blindfolds her baby son, who is really partly American, and puts an American flag in his hand to wave, and then kills herself.
Well, I'll tell you, you gave the wrong act. Of course, that is beside the point. The phrase is used in the first act. Say can you see?
Oh.
All right. Well, like I said, now the makers of Alka-Seltzer gives Mrs. Johnson the Dandy Zenith Transoceanic Portable that gives worldwide reception no matter where you are. Now, if you had missed, she would have had a choice between a Zenith television set and a large console Zenith radio phonograph combination. That Zenith television set is the Zenith Buchanan, friends, and it has everything. A new Super Range chassis to ensure the ultimate in performance, the sensational built-in picture magnet aerial, single knob automatic tuning, and the glare band black tube for clearer pictures. The large console radio phonograph plays all types of records and has AM and FM radio. Now, if you would like to try to win one of these fine Zeniths, send in a question for our radio program. Address your questions to Quiz Kids, Box Y, Chicago 77, Illinois. All right, now let's see what our next question is. Oh, by the way, as I mentioned a little earlier in the program, we are honored to have a very distinguished guest in our classroom today. He is the assistant conductor of the Chicago Symphony Orchestra and conductor for the popular Young People's Concert Series, Mr. George Schick. Mr. Schick, I know that a great many of our listeners here in Chicago have enjoyed your children's concerts very much, and the program you have scheduled for this winter sounds very interesting. We're very glad to welcome you now to our classroom.
I've been having a very good time, Mr. Kelly.
Well, good for you. Say, did you bring along a question to ask the quiz kids?
Sure, I have one right here, Mr. Kelly. I'm very much interested in Lonnie, for, as you know, because of his ability as a pianist, he was selected to be guest piano soloist with the Chicago Symphony Orchestra this month.
Well, so I hear, and we're very, very proud of Lonnie.
Now, for my question, I would enjoy testing Lonnie's knowledge of symphonic music by naming a particular symphony and seeing whether he's familiar enough with it to pick out a theme on the piano.
Well, how about it, Lonnie? Are you game?
Yes.
All right, well, come on over here at the piano. Hurry up. This is going to be very interesting. Sit right down there, son. All right, Mr. Schick.
Now, let's see what we can ask him. Well, let's say, Lonnie, first, can you play any theme from the Symphony No. 9 in C major by Franz Schubert?
Yes. Let's see, the first theme goes like this.
Well, that was pretty good. I see I have to make it a little bit harder, don't I? Now let me mention a specific movement you are to recall, Lonnie. Can you play part of the first movement of the Second Symphony of Brahms? Yes, first movement, please. Though I must say one thing, you played a little bit too fast, so I think we better ask you now the slow movement from the Symphony in C major by George Bizet. Please.
Well, Mr. Schick, we all enjoyed your question very much, but I have a question I would like to ask both you and Lonnie. Since you are a brilliant concert pianist, besides being a conductor, I thought maybe you and Lonnie could give us a little preview of the concerto Lonnie will play with the symphony on December 19th. I had two pianos set up in the studio and wanted to ask you to play the orchestral part while Lonnie played the solo part. Would you do that for us?
Well, certainly. It's a great pleasure to do that.
All right, fine. Of course, I'm sorry to say that this will have to be a short version because our time is limited and we have many more questions to ask today, but this will be a real treat for all of us. Thank you, Mr. Schick, and thank you, too, Lonnie. I imagine most of you folks listening in will be doing some Christmas shopping this week. So before we take up this next question, here's a bit of advice.
Yes, friends, at the end of a busy day of Christmas shopping, when you feel tired and dull, when your legs and back ache, and you have a nagging headache, remember this. First aid for relief is Alka-Seltzer. Yes, relax and freshen up with Alka-Seltzer. It can be just the thing for muscular fatigue, and it can help you feel better fast. You see, Alka-Seltzer's analgesic offers quick relief from the distress of headache and aching muscles, while its alkalizing properties actually speed recovery from the fatigue itself. Now, doesn't that sound like wonderful relief? Well, it is. Just try it and see for yourself how soon Alka-Seltzer can help that weary, done-in feeling. Get Alka-Seltzer at any drugstore. And after a busy day of Christmas shopping, don't let a headache or muscular fatigue get you down. Remember, first aid for relief is Alka-Seltzer.
Should Alka-Seltzer be forgot and ever slip your mind, remember Alka-Seltzer sold at any drugstore sign.
Well, now, kids, I see that our quartet is in a huddle to sing you this question from Mrs. James Coleman of Urbana, Ohio. So go ahead, boys.
What Grecian god who loves to rove is found upon the hot kitchen stove?
Bunny?
Would that be Pan?
Pan, that's right. Well, here's the next one.
When heat and cold pervade the town, what Latin god runs up and down?
Lonnie?
That'd be Proserpina.
What? The what?
Well, there's several names. Persephone, Proserpina.
Well, now, wait a minute. Heat and cold.
Well-
What Latin god runs up and down?
Well, maybe Pluto.
Oh,
Well,
no.
Well, Proserpina goes up and down from the
Oh,
underworld.
you're thinking about Persephone, but
Well-
we're thinking about something else. Runs up and down, heat and cold. All right, Latin god. You give up on this? Mercury. Mercury. Heat and cold pervade the town. All right, well, we missed on that. Let's see what we can do with this last one.
What mild rebuke will every time denote a king of Egypt's crime?
All right, how about that? What mild rebuke will every time denote a king of Egypt's prime? No hands. T-U-T. Tut. King Tut. Well, of course, I can't mark you right on that one. So, Alka-Seltzer awards Mrs. James Coleman of Urbana, Ohio, choice between a large console Zenith radio phonograph combination or a fine Zenith television set. Now, Mrs. Winona McCone of New York has sent in an original limerick, but the last line is the title of an old popular song. You are to complete this limerick by supplying the old song title. There was a fair gal, I'll allow, who had scads of sweethearts, and how. She turned them all down for one who left town, so she's da. Lonnie.
Nobody's sweetheart now.
Nobody's sweetheart now is right. How do you like that? Well, now, Lonnie, since we've gone through our stack of questions for today, I'd like to show everyone just how versatile you are. You not only play classical music beautifully, but how about your giving our listeners a sample of old-fashioned ragtime? Let's really show the folks how Nobody's Sweetheart Now can sound. You come over here at the piano like a good boy, and we'll try to go to town on a little double piano. And after we get started, we'll have a real jam session. I'll give Howard Peterson a signal to come in on the organ, and then the quartet can join us, and we'll have a real director, too. So, Mr. Schick, you can pick up your stick. Oh, dear, dear. All right, Lonnie, give me a big introduction while I get over there with you.
When we walk down the avenue,
question. Well, that bell means it's time to look ahead to next week's program. And while I get my notes together here, here's an important message.
Mother's one-a-day brand multiple vitamins taken every day give complete protection against the let-down, all-in, pepless feeling that results from lack of any or all of the known essential vitamins. Health surveys indicate that millions of school children show definite signs of vitamin deficiency disease. Protect your family. Don't let lack of vitamins interfere with the normal growth, energy, and progress of your children. Remember, one-a-day brand multiple vitamins protect. Remember the name and the package. Blue with a big 1.
Well, we certainly had a lot of fun this afternoon. And Quiz Kids, as usual, you will each receive a $100 savings bond from the makers of Alka-Seltzer to help you with your future education. And speaking of education, I wonder how many of you youngsters, and especially you grown-ups, have heard about the new Children's Book Fund that is to be conducted through CARE, the agency that has done so much for the peoples of war-torn countries. Well, the purpose of this new Children's Book Fund is to purchase American children's books for children in other countries to help increase both international understanding and an understanding of America through books. And friends, if you would like to make the Children's Book Fund a part of your Christmas giving, address your cash contributions to C-A-R-E, CARE, 20 Broad Street, New York 5, New York, or your local CARE office. Now, friends, plan to be with us next Sunday, won't you? The Quiz Kids will be competing against 5 prominent representatives of the Benevolent Order of Elks, and there will be plenty of excitement and fun. Remember, that's next Sunday. Until then, this is Joe Kelly dismissing the Quiz Kids. Goodbye, kids.
Bye, Mr. Kelly.
See and hear Alka-Seltzer's Quiz Kids television show on NBC. Consult your local newspaper for time and station. This is Bob Murphy speaking. Jimmy Durante and Clifton Webb join the big show today on NBC.